What do you get when you mix nanotech, insane action, and a teenage hero who can literally turn his arms into giant cannons? You get Generator Rex, one of the most underrated gems in animated TV. Created by Man of Action, the same team behind Ben 10 and Big Hero 6, this might just be their best work since the original Ben 10. Set in a world overrun by mutated creatures called Evos, Generator Rex follows a snarky, likable teen with the power to transform his body into biomechanical weapons. But he's not just fighting monsters, he's trying to cure them. The animation is next level. Emmy-winning backgrounds, a cool steampunk vibe with orange tones, and fight scenes that rival Avatar, Young Justice, and Voltron, Legendary Defender. With badass allies like the silent, sword-wielding Agent 6 and the intense White Knight, the show delivers action, style, heart, and a surprisingly deep story. It dips a little in the middle, but the ride is totally worth it. So, without further ado, let's jump in. 5 years ago, a strange and unexplained accident takes place. This accident releases billions of tiny, incomplete, microscopic nanites into Earth's atmosphere. The nanites spread everywhere and infect all living things, from the smallest insect to the largest animal. Sometimes they suddenly activate for no clear reason, and when that happens, they cause certain creatures to change and mutate into what people now call exponentially variegated organisms, or simply EVOs. In response to this dangerous situation, now known as the nanite event, countries from all around the world come together to form an international organization called Providence. Their main mission is to track down and contain the EVO threat before it gets out of control. Among the people affected is Rex, a 15-year-old boy with no memories of his past. Rex is not just any EVO. He has the rare ability to control the nanites inside him. This allows him to do something incredible. He can cure certain EVOs and even reshape his own body into powerful biomechanical weapons. Because of his unique skills, Rex stays under Providence's watchful eye. He works under the guidance of Agent 6, a strict and highly skilled operative and doctor. Rebecca Holliday, Providence's brilliant head scientist. Together they send him on missions all over the world to help stop dangerous EVOs and cure as many as he can. However, life under Providence isn't easy for Rex. He grows tired of their strict control and the way they treat him like just another tool instead of a person. Wanting some freedom, he secretly leaves their headquarters one day with his loyal EVO chimpanzee friend Bobo. Out in the city, Rex meets an ordinary teenage boy named Noah Nixon, and the two quickly become close friends. The two friends don't get to enjoy their time together for long because they are suddenly attacked by a group of dangerous EVOs. Before they can even figure out what's going on, the creatures drag them through a strange, swirling portal. On the other side, they find themselves in Abyssus, a dark and crumbling country somewhere in Eastern Europe, completely overrun with EVOs. It's here that they meet Van Cleis, the powerful and menacing leader of Abyssus. Van Cleis has the terrifying ability to control and reshape the land itself, bending the environment to his will. He tells Rex that Abyssus was actually the center of the nanite event, and he hints, almost too confidently, that he already knows who Rex is. In fact, he strongly suggests that Rex had something to do with the events that caused the nanite event in the first place. Then, without warning, Van Cleis attacks. During the fight, he reveals his disturbing secret. He feeds on fresh nanites to keep his strength. Rex barely manages to escape, and just in time, Agent 6 arrives to pull him, Noah, and Bobo out of Abyssus. In the chaos, Van Cleis appears to be destroyed, but later he regenerates his body, proving he is far from gone. Back at Providence headquarters, 6 and Dr. Holiday promise Rex that from now on they will treat him with more respect and help him uncover the truth about his past. However, what Rex doesn't know is that Noah is hiding a secret of his own. He is secretly working for Providence's leader, White Knight, and his job is to spy on Rex. After Agent 6 comes dangerously close to killing a priest who has turned into an EVO, Rex manages to cure the man at the very last second. The close call leaves Rex deeply conflicted about Providence's harsh, cure, contain, or kill policy. He starts questioning whether their way of handling EVOs is always the right one. Not long after, Rex, Six, and Bobo are sent on a mission to Manhattan, which has fallen into chaos. The city is swarming with zombie-like EVOs, all under the control of a powerful EVO named Peter Meacham. When White Knight sees how quickly Meacham's control is spreading, he decides the situation is far too dangerous to contain. Without hesitation, he activates the Bleach Protocol, a desperate plan to detonate a nuclear weapon on the Manhattan Bridge, wiping out Meacham and everyone he controls. Rex refuses to let that happen. Determined to save the city, he digs deeper and discovers that Meacham's daughter, Sarah, has been kidnapped by Van Cleis. Van Cleis is using her as leverage, forcing Meacham to take over Manhattan against his will. With this knowledge, Rex convinces Meacham to work with him. Together, they stop the crisis. Rex cures Meacham and frees all the infected people from his control. With the immediate threat gone, Rex rescues Sarah and brings her back to her father. The two are reunited in an emotional moment, and Providence places Meacham under protective custody, ensuring that both he and Sarah are safe from Van Cleis's reach. Rex, Noah, and Bobo decide they need a break from missions, so they secretly take a vacation to the sunny resort island of Cabo Luna without telling Providence. At first, everything feels carefree, but things change when Rex meets a mysterious girl named Circe and quickly develops a crush on her. One night, Rex hears a strange noise coming from the shore. Curious, he follows the sound and finds Circe under attack by a massive Evo sea monster. Without hesitating, Rex rushes to help, and together they manage to defeat it. But afterward, Rex learns the truth. Circe is actually an Evo herself. She has the rare ability to summon other Evos with a powerful sonic scream, and the sea monster was not attacking her at all. It was part of an initiation test for her to join the pack, a group of loyal followers who serve Van Cleis. The next day, Agent 6 arrives on the island and ends up joining the battle against the pack. In the middle of the fight, Rex tries to convince Circe to leave them and join Providence instead, telling her she doesn't have to be alone. But Circe refuses, explaining that the pack is the only ones who truly accept her for who she is. In the end, Circe leaves with the pack and returns to Abyssus, while Rex reluctantly heads back to Providence, hiding his disappointment by throwing himself into his work. Meanwhile, in Abyssus, Van Cleis forgives Circe for failing her test, because he has a bigger plan. He intends to use her growing feelings for Rex as a way to get to him. A spider-like Evo manages to break out of special containment inside Providence headquarters, sending the entire base into chaos. Dr. Holliday quickly places the building on full emergency lockdown to stop it from escaping. Meanwhile, Rex and Noah find themselves trapped inside the petting zoo, Providence's containment area for holding Evos. With no way out, they team up and try to stay one step ahead of the dangerous creature. While they are hiding, a tense moment causes Noah to panic, and he accidentally blurts out a secret. He was hired by White Knight to spy on Rex. Shocked and hurt, Rex feels completely betrayed, and his anger causes him to lose control of his powers. The situation gets worse when the Spider Evo captures Noah and traps him in sticky webbing. Rex and Dr. Holliday push forward and eventually reach the center of the petting zoo, where they find the Evo has already cocooned several Providence agents alongside Noah. It's here that Holliday reveals the heartbreaking truth. The Evo is actually her younger sister, and sadly, Rex's powers can't cure her. Despite this, Rex and the rest of Providence manage to subdue the creature and safely lock her back in containment. After the battle, Rex and Noah reconcile, but Rex makes it clear he won't tolerate another betrayal. He warns White Knight that if he ever tries to deceive him again, he'll hunt him down himself. With that, Rex storms out of Providence while Agent 6 steps in and takes the blame for letting Rex learn the truth about Noah. While on the run from Providence, Rex comes across a group of engineers who are under attack by Evos. Without hesitation, he jumps in to help them and drives the creatures away. Grateful for his assistance, the engineers lead Rex to their home, a hidden village concealed from the outside world by a powerful cloaking field. One of the engineers, a friendly man named Jacob, explains that their community is made up of engineers who lost their jobs after the nanite event. They are now united under the leadership of a man called the Architect, who is building a massive tower that he claims will be able to communicate with nanites all over the planet. At first, Rex enjoys the village's warm and welcoming atmosphere, which is a refreshing change from Providence's strict and cold treatment of him. However, he soon grows suspicious of the Architect's true intentions. Deciding to investigate, Rex sneaks into the tower and uncovers a disturbing truth. The Architect is not a man at all, but an android being controlled by a dangerous artificial intelligence named Zag-RS. She reveals her real plan: to destroy every nanite in existence, which would also wipe out all living things in the process. Realizing the danger, Rex exposes the Architect's true nature to the villagers. Working together, they manage to shut down the communications tower and seemingly destroy Zag-RS. With the crisis over, Rex decides to return to Providence, but he sets one condition. He, Bobo, Six, and Dr. Holiday must have dinner together every Friday, just like Jacob's family does in their village. After absorbing too many nanites from an Evo, Rex's body reaches a dangerous breaking point, putting him in critical condition. To save his life, Providence takes him to the remote Paradise base in Antarctica for an emergency procedure to offload the excess nanites. When Rex wakes up after the operation, he quickly realizes something is wrong. Six, Bobo, and Dr. Holiday are nowhere to be found. Stepping outside, he sees the pack overpowering them. Determined to help, Rex heads back inside the base, only to be betrayed by Providence scientist Weaver. It turns out Weaver has been secretly supplying Rex's nanites to Van Clyce all along. Rex manages to find his friends, and together they confront Weaver and the pack. In an attempt to scare the pack away, Weaver releases Rex's excess nanites into the open. But the move backfires. Weaver himself is consumed and transformed into a massive, monstrous Evo. When Rex tries to cure him, something unexpected happens. Instead of removing the nanites, Rex makes contact with them directly, experiencing strange flashbacks of his forgotten past. The moment is cut short when Six steps in and defeats Weaver. Afterward, Providence relocates Rex to Purgatory Base, a secluded facility on a remote desert island in the South Pacific, so they can safely offload the rest of his nanites. As Rex heads off to explore the island with Bobo, Six and Dr. Holiday stay behind, privately discussing the mystery of who, or what, Rex really is. Van Clyce and the pack arrive without warning at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Rex is ready to fight, but Providence stops him. Van Clyce has diplomatic immunity as the official leader of Abyssus, which means Rex can't lay a hand on him. Van Clyce claims he's there to deliver a speech to the UN delegates on behalf of Abyssus, but Providence doesn't buy his act and keeps a close watch. Surprisingly, Van Clyce invites Rex to a party, and Rex agrees to go, bringing Six, Bobo, and Dr. Holiday along. At the party, Rex slips away and ends up in an underground passageway, where he's shocked to run into his friend Cersei. Nearby, Breach, one of Van Clyce's most dangerous followers, is using her teleportation powers to transport soil from Abyssus straight to New York. This soil restores Van Clyce's full strength. Things take a darker turn when Van Clyce seizes the UN delegates as hostages. Thinking fast, Rex blows a hole in the underground tunnels, allowing the waters of the East River to rush in and flood the passages. The sudden surge of water weakens Van Clyce enough for Rex to overpower him. Rex is moments away from finishing him off when Van Clyce plays his final card. He reminds Rex that he knows who his parents are. The shock and hesitation give Van Clyce just enough time to escape, leaving Rex furious and more determined than ever to uncover the truth about his past. Rex wakes up in a creepy old boarding school in the middle of an empty town with no idea how he got there. He quickly contacts Dr. Holiday, who tells him the last thing that happened. He was suddenly attacked by Breach, who used her strange portal powers to teleport him to some unknown place. Holiday has Breach in custody and demands she reveal where Rex is, but Breach refuses. As Rex explores the silent, abandoned streets, he discovers he's in Greenville, Ohio, a place Holiday explains vanished without a trace 2 years ago. Together, they realize Rex is trapped in a pocket dimension made by Breach. She's keeping him there as her newest doll. Knowing this strange world is Breach's comfort zone, Rex begins destroying her other dolls, one by one, shaking her sense of control until she finally breaks. Overwhelmed, she lets him go and appears to explode. Later, Rex admits he feels sorry for Breach's loneliness and walks away with a deeper appreciation for the life and friends he has. Providence is investigating a strange string of attacks on wealthy people. Each attack comes through a mysterious box that, when opened, temporarily mutates the victim into an Evo. The team traces these boxes back to Dr. Gabriel Rylander, a nanorobotics expert who vanished during the nanite event. When Rex learns that Rylander had a son, he starts to wonder if Rylander might be his father. Hoping for answers, Rex joins Six, Holiday, and Bobo on a mission to South America to find him. At Rylander's remote compound, they run into Van Cleis and the Pack, who are also there. They're after what they believe is an endless supply of nanites hidden inside the facility. Rex slips past them and finally meets Rylander in person. Rylander explains that he isn't Rex's father, but he is the one who gave Rex his name. He reveals that Rex's real family worked on the original Nanite project, the program that created the nanites. Years ago, after a terrible accident, Rex's life was saved when experimental nanites were infused into him, granting him his powers. Rylander also confesses that the people he targeted were the original backers of the nanite project, and his attacks were a warning about the dangers of leaving the project unfinished. Then he drops another bombshell. Rex has a living brother. Before explaining more, Rylander injects Rex with a mysterious nanite. Before Rex can get the full truth, Van Cleis strikes, stabbing Rylander. Rex and Van Cleis fight fiercely until Rylander uses his last strength to push Van Cleis into a nanite reactor. The reactor explodes, and both Rylander and Van Cleis seem to be killed in the blast. On a stormy night, a Providence ship flees from 2 fighter jets. The crew, led by Captain Callan, is carrying a stolen data rod that can predict what kind of Evo a person might become, allowing Providence to prepare strategies in advance. When the jets close in, the crew detours over the bug jar to shake them off. The plan works, until something inside the bug jar shoots them down. Once known as Kiev, Ukraine, the bug jar is now sealed off by a one-way force field. During the nanite event, Earth's magnetic field concentrated a massive surge of nanites there, turning almost all living things into Evos. Rex, Six, and Bobo are sent to recover the data rod and any survivors. Before they leave, Holiday privately asks Rex to collect samples for her, promising him a dinner date as a reward. Bobo and Six stay outside the dome, while Rex slips into the bug jar. Inside, he finds the data carrier hanging from a post, but no ship or bodies in sight. Outside, Six and Bobo are attacked by swarms of Evos led by a faceless, 4-armed creature the locals call No-Face. Rex eventually reunites with 2 surviving crew members who lead him and Six to No-Face's hideout. They discover that No-Face is forcing Captain Callan to repair the downed ship, controlling other Evos through a form of telepathy. The group escapes and takes shelter in a crumbling hotel while calling Holiday for extraction. No-Face launches one last assault, hoping to capture them before rescue arrives. Thinking fast, Rex uses Holiday's sample collector as a weapon, buying time for the rescue team to swoop in. Back at Providence HQ, Rex claims the data rod was lost, just to annoy White Knight, but earns the respect of the crew he saved. Holiday is relieved to see them safe, even if Rex didn't get her samples. She tells him it meant everything, just not enough for that promised date. Rex is doubtful when he hears that a simple, harmless-looking rabbit is causing trouble for Providence agents. It sounds ridiculous to him. However, he quickly learns the truth when the rabbit reveals itself to be a ferocious Evo. Without realizing it, Rex insults the creature, which sparks a personal grudge. From that moment on, the Evo rabbit begins stalking Rex, and every encounter ends with Rex getting injured in some way. Things get even more complicated when Noah convinces Rex to be his wingman for prom night. Noah proudly tells Rex that he managed to get a date with a girl named Claire, but to make a better impression on her, Noah has set Rex up with Claire's best friend, Annie, who conveniently doesn't have a date. At first, Rex wonders why such a cute girl like Annie would be dateless. The answer becomes painfully clear when Annie accidentally locks Rex inside a limousine, sending the vehicle rolling off the edge of a cliff. Rex manages to break out just in time and flies back to safety, landing on a nearby cliff. Unfortunately, before he can take another step, Annie loses her balance and bumps into him, knocking him right back over the edge. Later, Noah finally explains the situation. Every guy who has gone on a date with Annie has ended up in the hospital, or worse, because of her constant clumsy accidents. It turns out the real reason Noah set Rex up with Annie was because he believed Rex was the only person tough enough to survive a night out with her. When Rex considers bailing, Noah slyly reminds him that he still hasn't managed to catch the Evo Bunny, planting doubt in Rex's mind about his abilities. Determined to prove himself, Rex decides to stick with the date. Bobo arrives with a tank to replace the wrecked limousine, and surprisingly, both Annie and Claire agree that the tank is much cooler anyway. As the night continues, Annie almost injures Rex multiple times, 4 to be exact, before the Evo rabbit finally catches up with him. An intense fight breaks out, leading to the complete demolition of a building under construction. Rex narrowly escapes, leaving the rabbit buried under a massive pile of steel beams. Just when he thinks he's safe, Annie accidentally launches a rocket at Rex. He catches it in relief when it doesn't explode, but then Annie sprays spot remover, unknowingly hitting the trigger button. The rocket goes off in a massive blast. The Evo rabbit survives yet again and begins chasing the tank through the city. In an unexpected twist, Annie's clumsiness actually helps Rex when she fires a heat-seeking missile at him. Rex quickly redirects it toward the rabbit, finally destroying the creature once and for all. Unfortunately, by the time they reach the school, prom is already over. Noah is ready to call the night a total disaster, but to his surprise, Annie and Claire insist it was the best night of their lives. Rex, however, swears he is never going on another date with Annie, though he admits with a small smile that she is still pretty cute. While in Hong Kong, China, Rex works alongside Agent 6 on a mission. During their patrol, Rex meets an Evo named Tuck, who seems to know him surprisingly well. This confuses Rex because he has no memory of ever meeting Tuck before. Curious to learn more about the situation, Rex suggests to Providence that they should slow down their operation and let him go undercover. White Knight actually likes the idea and explains that a crime boss named Quarry is behind a string of robberies. He orders Rex to infiltrate the small gang of 3 Evo criminals, Tuck, Squid, and Cricket, in order to gain their trust and eventually get close to Quarry. Rex, however, has his own personal goal. He wants to figure out why Tuck knows him and what kind of history they might share. After a short and surprisingly friendly conversation, Tuck introduces Rex to his 2 friends, Squid, who has squid-like abilities, and Cricket, a fast, insect-like Evo. They reveal something surprising. Before losing his memories, Rex had created a special voice-activated nano ink just for their gang. According to Tuck, Rex also used to suffer from frequent memory loss back then. To prove their story, they show him an old photograph of all 4 of them together. That's when Rex learns the truth. The gang is not committing these crimes willingly. They are being forced to work for the ruthless crime lord Quarry. Rex spends the day with them, and for a while, it feels like he's slipping back into his old life. But when they return to their hideout, things take a dark turn. A nearby water tower suddenly explodes and bursts into flames. Quarry arrives, and Rex finally confronts him, trying to reason with the man. Instead, Quarry drops a bombshell. He claims that in the past it was actually Rex who betrayed Tuck, Squid, and Cricket, trading them to Quarry for money. He even has proof in the form of a diary stored on a PDA. Shocked and hurt, the gang believes Quarry's story and turns against Rex. That night, Rex feels frustrated and unsure of what to believe. He considers helping Providence take down Quarry, treating the gang like just another set of targets. But as he looks again at the photograph Tuck gave him earlier, he feels a wave of guilt and starts to rethink his decision. Determined to set things right, Rex storms Quarry's base to shut down his operation once and for all. A fierce battle breaks out. During the fight, Quarry tries to bribe Rex by offering him the PDA. Instead, Rex destroys it without hesitation. This act shocks the gang. They realize Rex is standing up for them just like a true leader would. Reunited in purpose, the four of them fight together and take Quarry down. Providence arrives soon after and arrests Quarry along with his Evo enforcers. Later, White Knight asks Rex about the 3 pawns in the mission. Rex lies, saying that Tuck, Squid, and Cricket escaped. He tells the gang privately that Providence will leave them alone as long as they don't give anyone a reason to come after them. The friends part weighs on good terms, this time with trust between them restored. Back at Providence, Rex confides in Dr. Holiday and Agent 6 about the possibility that he is experiencing memory blackouts. Holiday suggests that the blackouts may be triggered by moments of extreme emotional trauma. 6 offers some practical advice and hands Rex a journal with a pen so that from now on he can record important events in case his memory fails him again. Dr. Holiday is aboard a large space station, working with a small team of Providence scientists. Their mission is both risky and groundbreaking. They are developing a special type of nanites designed to deactivate ordinary nanites. After long hours of work, the team almost succeeds, but at the last moment, the experimental nanites suddenly self-destruct. Before they can restart the process, danger strikes. An AI program called ZAG-RS tries to access the deactivated nanite research. In its current form, the research could help ZAG-RS achieve her terrifying goal, erasing every nanite on Earth along with all life that contains them. Acting quickly, Dr. Holiday shuts down the station's systems, trapping ZAG-RS and stopping her from transferring into another network. But in the chaos, one of the scientists is pulled out into the vacuum of space. Fear spreads fast. Another scientist, Bouvier, panics and escapes in a pod. Unfortunately, his pod slams into one of the station's solar panels, damaging it badly and sending the entire space station into orbital decay. Now, with no power and the clock ticking, only Dr. Holiday and the last scientist, Pete Volkov, remain trapped inside. Back on Earth, Providence scrambles to save the crew. Rex, determined to help, convinces White Knight to let him fix the station using the space elevator. The ride to orbit is fast, too fast. Instead of stopping at the station, the elevator's brakes fail, and Rex crashes straight through its structure. In a painful but determined effort, Rex finally manages to stop the elevator using his smack hands. Rex makes his way through the damaged station and finds Holiday and Pete. With the help of a small maintenance drone named Salvatore, Rex works to stabilize the station so they can launch an escape pod with the 3 of them and the precious nanite samples back to Earth. But the relief is short-lived. ZAG-RS has secretly uploaded herself into Salvatore, avoiding the earlier shutdown. Now in control of the drone, she reveals her plan to leave the humans stranded in space while she escapes to Earth with the research. A fierce battle erupts. ZAG-RS uses her ability to control nanites to gain the upper hand. Rex struggles and starts to lose. Exhausted and bitter, he admits that if Dr. Holiday finishes the cure, Providence might not need him anymore. He urges her to leave him behind and return to Earth while there's still time. But Holiday refuses. In a split-second decision, she smashes the nanite container into ZAG-RS, disabling the AI and saving Rex, but destroying the nanite samples in the process. With ZAG-RS gone, the 3 survivors climb into the escape pod and launch away from the dying station. Their pod splashes down in the middle of the ocean, floating and waiting for Providence to pick them up. One quiet night, Rex and Bobo sneak out of Providence, hoping to grab some fast food. The city streets are calm, and the plan seems simple until Rex's phone rings. It's Cersei. Her voice is urgent as she tells him something is wrong in Abesis. Rex's mood changes instantly. He snaps back that it's not his problem and hangs up. But as the night goes on, her words keep gnawing at him. Eventually, he changes his mind. He and Bobo head for the Providence hangar, intent on stealing a shuttle. Just as they start boarding, Agent 6 catches them in the act. Rex blurts out the situation, expecting to be shut down, but to his surprise, 6 agrees to help, on one condition. He and Dr. Holliday are coming too. 6 then assigns Bobo a different mission. Distract White Knight so he doesn't notice the unauthorized flight. When the team lands in Abyssus, the sight is grim. Dr. Holliday explains that an anomaly is making every nanite in the region unstable. The lush forests are dead, the air feels heavy, and pools of black, oily goo, unstable, self-replicating nanites, bubble ominously in the soil. Suddenly, a massive one-armed Evo bursts from the shadows and attacks. The team fights hard, but the creature is relentless. Then, from a ridge above, Circe, Biowolf, and Scalamander appear. 6 warns it's a trap, but instead, the pack leaps into battle, fighting alongside Rex until the Evo is finally knocked out. When Rex tries to cure it, the Evo dissolves into more of the black goo. Circe starts to explain, but Biowolf cuts her short. The pack leads the group to Van Kleiss's castle, now a crumbling ruin. There, Biowolf admits the truth. Without Van Kleiss, Abyssus itself is falling apart. From an ancient machine, he pulls a scroll that states only Rex can operate it to stabilize the land. Rex steps up to run the machine, determined to stop the spread of unstable nanites. But as the device powers up, it begins something unexpected. It starts resurrecting Van Kleiss. Rex slams the machine to a halt, dissolving the half-formed villain. Scalamander shouts in grief while the pack insists Van Kleiss is the only one who can absorb the unstable nanites. Dr. Holliday, though hesitant, admits they might be right. Rex refuses, until the collapsing terrain nearly kills 6 Holliday and Circe. Left with no choice, he restarts the machine and fully revives Van Kleiss. When Rex tries to explain the situation, Van Kleiss simply says he already knows. The unstable nanites swarm him, but instead of consuming him, they merge into his body, restoring his full strength. With his power renewed, Van Kleiss stabilizes Abyssus. Then he turns cold, refusing to save Rex's friends unless Rex swears eternal loyalty. Cornered, Rex agrees. Van Kleiss spares them and extends a hand in victory. Rex accepts, but uses the handshake to scan him. The results shock him. Van Kleiss's nanites have changed during the revival, making him curable. Without hesitation, Rex cures him on the spot, mocking his sudden helplessness. Van Kleiss smirks, claiming his true strength has always been his intellect. Before Rex can arrest him, Breach appears. With a sly smile, she pulls Van Kleiss into a dark red portal, vanishing from sight. As the dust settles, Rex asks Circe to join Providence. She refuses. The pack is her family, she says. They took her in when no one else would. Rex's expression falls. So that's it? We're always going to be on opposite sides? She smiles faintly. It does keep it interesting. Rex watches her walk away. Moments later, the Providence shuttle lifts off, carrying him into the sky, while Circe remains below, staring after it until it disappears. Rex is in the middle of a basketball game with Noah when his communicator beeps. A Level 2 Evo alert flashes on the screen, nearby. Without hesitation, he rushes to help the Providence agents already on the scene. Rex makes quick work of the Evo and brushes off the agents' efforts, joking about how easy it was. One of the agents, Beasley, takes offense. He tells Rex that without his powers, he couldn't handle what Providence soldiers go through every day, and that he wouldn't last a single day in boot camp. Noah jumps in, mentioning how brutal Providence's basic training program is. Before long, a bet is made. Rex and Noah will see who can last longer in basic training. When they arrive at boot camp, the reality hits them hard. The drill instructor is relentless, barking orders and finding fault in everything they do. The exercises are harsh, the punishments even harsher. Every moment is a test of strength, speed, and discipline. One day, the recruits face a major challenge. They have to simulate a crash landing in a falling plane and get everyone out safely. Rex jumps in and starts saving people right away, but before the dust settles, the instructor orders them to start over from the beginning. The delay costs Rex's teammate Kenwin some points she badly needs to stay at the top of the class. Later, the scores are posted. Kenwin sees she has lost her first place position. She blames Rex and refuses his apology, telling him angrily that she can't afford to lose. Providence saved her family, and graduating first in her class has always been her dream. Soon after, the recruits prepare for their final exam, entering a restricted area of the camp called the Cage, where live evos are held. Rex is supposed to go in, but Kenwin secretly sabotages the collars that keep the evos under control, hoping to ruin his test. Her plan backfires when the drill instructor unexpectedly sends her in instead. The collars fail. The evos break free. Chaos erupts. Rex, Noah, Kenwin, the other recruits, and the drill instructor fight side by side to contain the threat. In the heat of battle, Rex and Kenwin start to respect each other's skills and determination. When the fight is over, Kenwin is ready to confess what she did, but Rex stops her. He takes the blame for everything and gives her all the credit for the victory. The drill instructor, who seems to know the truth anyway, tells Rex and Noah to keep up the good work. As they leave, both Rex and Noah are sore, exhausted, and just a little wiser. They've gained a new understanding of how hard Providence soldiers work. Then, with tired smiles, they make another bet, this time on who can make it down the camp's steps first. A mysterious virus sweeps across North America, knocking every human into an unshakable sleep within 3 hours, everyone except active evos. Strangely, Bobo Haha, despite being an evo, appears to be affected too. Only Rex remains partially awake, making him the last line of defense for millions who now lie helpless. With the entire continent teetering on the brink of collapse, Dr. Holiday delivers a chilling deadline. In 60 hours, the unconscious victims will begin to die from dehydration. She stays awake by strapping electrodes to her temples, shocking her brain whenever she drifts toward sleep. White Knight warns that this method won't last. One slip too far, and she could cause permanent brain damage. White Knight puts Rex to work. Alone, Rex is dispatched from one crisis to the next, preventing a runaway train from derailing, dragging an Evo fish monster out of a dam, and handling dozens of smaller disasters that no one else is awake to stop. The work is endless, and the clock is ticking. Holiday finally finishes building a device to track the virus's origin. But before she can use it, her electrodes are removed, forcing her into the same deep sleep as everyone else. Rex is furious at White Knight for letting this happen. Determined not to waste more time, Rex decides to hunt the source of the virus himself. Surprisingly, White Knight joins him. Because he has no nanites and lives in a completely sterile, sealed office, he is immune to the virus. He suits up in a heavily armored, weaponized hazmat suit to help Rex fight through roaming evos. Their mission? Find Patient Zero, an evo whose nanites mutated dozens of smaller viruses into this continent-wide plague. When Rex fails to cure it immediately, White Knight moves to kill the creature. Rex blocks him, warning that killing it might not stop the spread. The two clash, both physically and verbally. In the fight, White Knight reveals his secret. He is completely nanite-free. That's why he leads Providence, and why he lives in isolation. Despite the tension, Rex convinces him to give curing the Evo one last try. The Evo mutates again, wrapping itself in a living, writhing incarnation of the virus. To get past its defenses, Rex dives straight into its mouth, curing it from the inside. Outside, White Knight holds the monster off, but his suit is breached in the struggle. With the cure complete, Rex rushes White Knight back to Providence for quarantine, just in time to keep him nanite-free. Holiday, now awake, praises Rex for taking charge and for saving White Knight's life. The outbreak ends, but one last mystery remains. Bobo Haha wasn't infected at all. He had simply been sleeping off a massive food coma after throwing himself a party the night the virus hit. It's Rex's birthday, though technically it's the anniversary of when he first joined Providence. Agent 6 and Dr. Holliday decide to mark the occasion by telling Rex the full story of how he became part of their lives. Back when Providence was still forming, the policy for captured Evos was simple and brutal. Detain them only long enough to disassemble them on a molecular level for study. Dr. Holliday, then just an assistant scientist, quietly disagreed. She believed that if they understood how nanites triggered mutations, they might find a third option, one beyond kill or contain. She dreamed of a cure. The flashback begins in Mexico. A massive mechanical Evo is rampaging through a city, tearing apart everything in its path. A young Six and his partner, a freshly recruited White Knight, are dispatched to stop it. They fight hard, hammering the Evo with everything they've got until finally the creature collapses. In the wreckage of a building the Evo destroyed, they find something unexpected. A boy, Rex. Before Six can process it, another Evo appears, but instead of panicking, Rex walks straight up to it and cures it in an instant, the mutation peeling away like layers of paint. Six is stunned. This boy isn't just another Evo. He's the key to what Holliday has been hoping for. Six brings Rex back to her in secret, determined to keep him safe until they know more. But White Knight has other ideas. Believing Rex might be the answer to curing the entire planet in one go, White Knight sneaks him out and brings him to Dr. Fell, the head of Evo studies. Fell's plan is clear: disassemble Rex and study every atom. Six refuses to let it happen. The risk is too great. Rex works as he is, and destroying him for a maybe isn't worth it. With help from an unlikely ally, Bobo Haha, a newly captured Evo who, at the time, was threatening to push the button and nuke the world unless he got caviar, Six and Holliday launch a rescue. The standoff escalates into a fight between Six and White Knight. In the chaos, the disassembling machine malfunctions, initiating a full destruction sequence. At the last second, White Knight shoves Six out of the room, sealing himself inside. The process begins, lights blaring, machinery humming, but Rex steps forward, using his powers to shut the machine down. Rex saves White Knight's life, but the cost is permanent. The nanites in White Knight's body are completely destroyed, leaving his skin, hair, and eyes bleached pale. Later, from his new sealed office, White Knight informs Six that Rex's abilities have brought Providence the funding it desperately needed. For his zero nanite status, White Knight is promoted to head of Providence. Back in the present, Six hands Rex a birthday gift, a Tanto blade engraved with the Bushido symbol for loyalty. Six reveals that he has its twin, given to him by White Knight on the day they found Rex. The blades, he says, are a symbol that they're walking the same path now. For a rare moment, Six's stoic mask softens, and Rex can see just how much he's valued. Van Kleis has lost his nature-controlling Evo powers, and now he wants revenge. His plan is dangerous. Destroy Providence from the inside and absorb all of Rex's nanites, making himself stronger than ever before. Meanwhile, Rex and Noah are on the flight deck, trying to convince Captain Callan to let them fly the Keep for just a short time. After some hesitation, Callan finally agrees. Rex and Noah play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to take the controls. Rex wins, grinning in victory. But before he can even touch a button, alarms blare across the ship. Through the windows, they see the blimp closing in. It begins firing and opening strange gateways. From these portals, the pack storms the ship. Chaos spreads quickly. Rex charges through the corridors, fighting off attackers until he spots Van Kleis on a floor above. He leaps to engage him, but Biowolf intercepts, blocking his path. In the struggle, Van Kleis grabs Rex and drains nearly all his nanites, leaving only one, an unusual, massive nanite that Dr. Gabriel Rylander once injected into him. The stolen nanites twist inside Van Kleis, changing him. Because Rex's nanites could cure Evos, Van Kleis now gains the opposite ability, the power to create them. He proves it instantly by turning Captain Callan into a huge, stone-skinned, spider-like Evo. With Providence on the verge of falling, Rex makes a desperate choice. He decides to travel to the Purgatory base and refill his body with stored nanites, even if it means awakening the mysterious Omega-1 nanite. The plan works. Rex regains his original abilities, along with brand new machines. With these, he launches into battle against Van Cleis. Meanwhile, Dr. Holiday teams up with her sister to take down Scalamander. In another part of the base, White Knight fights Biowolf and Eyeball using a powerful electromagnet to protect himself from stray nanite infection. The fight rages, but Van Cleis eventually retreats, boarding his massive Evo whale blimp and escaping into the skies. His pack is not so lucky. Providence agents capture the remaining Evos. Just then, news comes in. Breach has planted bombs throughout Providence headquarters. Acting fast, Rex links his nanites to the entire base's systems and shuts down every explosive. Without a moment to rest, he races after Van Cleis, but cannot match the blimp's incredible speed. Later, back at Providence, Rex cures Captain Callan of his Evo mutation. White Knight, dressed in his nanite-free battlesuit, arrives in person. His verdict is blunt. This was not their finest hour. The Keep and Providence headquarters are both badly damaged and will need massive repairs. Rex looks at his team and speaks with determination. Van Cleis may be back and more powerful than before, but so is he. The war between humans and Evos is far from over. Providence headquarters is still under heavy reconstruction after Van Cleis's recent attack. While the repairs drag on, Rex and Bobo temporarily crash at Noah's place, much to Noah's growing annoyance. Agent 6, preferring solitude, chooses to live out of his jump jet for the time being. One morning, Rex's communicator blares with an alert, an Evo sighting near a Providence transport carrying a high-energy power core. Without hesitation, Rex races to the scene and a curious Noah and Bobo tag along. At the docks, they find Dr. Holiday already on site, collecting a sample from the Evo. The fight is quick but intense. Rex disables the creature and cures it. But in the process, he spots something chilling. A faint, unmistakable handprint burned into its body. It's Van Cleis's mark. Holiday explains that the power core nearby could power Abesis for a decade. The realization hits. The Evo was only a decoy. Moments later, Van Cleis strikes. In a flash, he mutates Noah into a massive, shaggy blonde Evo dog. With Providence agents closing in, Rex is forced to chase after his transformed friend to cure him before anyone gets hurt. Back at base, Dr. Holiday analyzes the Evo sample. The results are alarming. The Evos Van Cleis creates are unstable and their mutations could become permanent if not cured in time. The problem? The time limit isn't consistent. It changes from case to case. Rex spends the night chasing Noah, burning through his energy reserves until his biometrics crash. Exhausted, he takes a moment to recover, but before he can act, Van Cleis appears again, driving Noah away. Van Cleis taunts Rex and invites him to fight, but Rex, still too drained, chooses to retreat and recover. The chase resumes, this time winding through a maze of train tracks. Finally, Rex's biometrics spike back into the green. He unveils a brand new build, powering up for a direct showdown. This time, he's ready. After a fierce battle, Rex cures Noah, but the victory is bittersweet. The entire ordeal was yet another diversion. While Rex was occupied, Breach infiltrated the transport and stole the power core. Van Cleis's real mission succeeds, and later, back at the nearly repaired Providence headquarters, Rex trains relentlessly, experimenting with new builds to prepare for the next fight. He decides that this, Providence, is where he belongs. Six and Holiday share the same sentiment. The team is back home, but the war is far from over. An Evo attacks and sinks a nuclear-powered research vessel, but strangely, it doesn't harm the crew. Providence quickly sends Agent 6 and Rex to recover the ship's nuclear fuel rods before the dangerous material can leak into the ocean. Their mission takes them to the infamous Trash Island, a massive floating landmass that Dr. Holiday explains is nearly twice the size of Texas. It was formed over decades as ocean currents swept together countless tons of discarded waste. But those same currents also gathered every stray nanite drifting through the seas, turning the place into a hotspot for aquatic evo life. Navigating through the shifting garbage landscape, Rex and Six soon discover something unexpected. The island is hollow. Beneath the surface lies a vast, hidden world, an underwater city built entirely from strange, living Evo coral. Its name is Aquania. The two are quickly confronted by swarms of aquatic Evos led by a larger commanding figure, Serge, an Evo who was once human. A battle erupts, but Rex manages to break through Serge's hostility. He explains that the ship's researchers had no intent to harm the ocean or its inhabitants. Hearing this, Serge calms and reveals the truth. After mutating, he gained the ability to control the near-sentient aquatic Evos. Together, they've been repurposing harmful ocean waste, transforming it into the coral structures that make up Aquania's buildings. The uneasy peace doesn't last. Without warning, the wreck of the research vessel shifts and plunges into a deep ocean trench. Six warns that if it reaches the bottom, the extreme pressure will crush the hull, releasing radioactive waste into the water and devastating marine life worldwide. With no time to lose, Rex and Serge dive into the abyss. Their superhuman durability allows them to withstand the crushing depths. They reach the wreck just in time, securing the nuclear rods before the ship collapses entirely. Returning to Aquania, Six and Rex agree to keep the city's existence a secret from the outside world, protecting it from exploitation. As they leave, Rex quietly takes one of Aquania's newborn crustacean Evos, intending it as a gift for Dr. Holiday. Rex, Bobo, and Noah are driving through the desert in a beaten-down old truck, hauling what seems like the most mundane of supplies, stacks and stacks of toilet paper. They are supposed to be part of a larger Providence convoy, but somewhere along the way they get separated and are now on their own. Elsewhere, a dangerous group of anarchists, led by their brash and overconfident cyborg leader Gatlock, is plotting a major heist. Their target is the Providence convoy, which, unbeknownst to most, contains a shipment of unstable nanites. These nanites are so volatile that, according to Providence, they will detonate if taken above sea level or handled too roughly. The attack begins, and Gatlock and his crew successfully overtake the main convoy, but when they crack open the crates, they find nothing but toilet paper. Confused and irritated, Gatlock quickly realizes the truth. The real cargo, the unstable nanites, must be in the truck that got separated from the group. Tracking the signal, Gatlock intercepts Rex's truck. A fast-paced brawl breaks out on the roadside, with Rex dodging Gatlock's cybernetic strikes while Bobo and Noah scramble for cover. Rex eventually manages to break away, commandeering one of Gatlock's armored ATVs. Holding a crate of nanites in his hands, he warns Gatlock to back off, or risk setting them off. While Rex keeps Gatlock occupied, Noah and Bobo use the ATV's radio to send out a distress call to Providence. The fight escalates until Rex flings Gatlock into a nearby canyon. Moments later, the cyborg claws his way back up, battered but still defiant. Providence finally arrives and Agent 6 explains the real twist. When he said the nanites would go off, he didn't mean explode. They would simply shut down, making them useless for Providence's intended mission. Still, Six is impressed that the three managed to keep the shipment out of enemy hands. Not long after, Gatlock is captured by Providence agents and hauled away to jail. As he's being dragged off, he smirks and calls out to Rex that they should hang out sometime. With the crisis over, Rex, Noah, and Bobo decide not to head straight back. Instead, they climb into an ice cream truck they find nearby and happily drive off into the desert, promptly getting themselves lost all over again. Rex is assigned a delicate undercover mission: infiltrate Van Kleiss's group, the Pack, and gather intel. Among them is Cersei, Rex's siren-voiced sweetheart, whose presence immediately complicates things. The pack is heading to the dangerous, lawless zone known as the Bug Jar, where they plan to strike a deal with its ruthless leader, No-Face. At first, Rex tries to stick to the mission, but the moment he sees Cersei, his priorities start to shift. He decides to take a risk, hoping to convince her to leave the pack and return to his side. The conversation quickly escalates into a heated fight. During the clash, Cersei admits something surprising. Van Kleist doesn't want Rex dead. In fact, he wants him alive and well. There's something about Rex's rapidly growing abilities that Van Kleist still needs. Before Rex can press for more answers, the pack overpowers him. He's dragged before No-Face, who remembers the humiliation Rex once dealt him. Seething with vengeance, No-Face announces his plan to kill Rex on the spot. The declaration shocks Cersei. As much as she's been on the opposite side, she doesn't want his blood on her hands. Just as No-Face is about to deliver the killing blow, Van Kleist steps in. The two villains clash violently, and chaos erupts across the Bug Jar. Seizing the opportunity, Van Kleist and the pack retreat, leaving Cersei behind in the confusion. Now abandoned, Cersei stands unsure of where to go. Rex, joined by Bobo, guides her out of the Bug Jar's dangerous streets. Along the way, he suggests a solution. She should head to Hong Kong and stay with Cricket, Squid, and Tuck. Cersei, knowing she has no place left in the pack, quietly agrees. Together, they part ways, Rex returning to Providence, and Cersei heading toward a new chapter in her life. Rex battles a rampaging Rabbit Evo when Bobo unexpectedly steps in, not with his usual chaotic bravado, but with a calm, clever tactic. He feeds the creature a ball of alfalfa, instantly soothing it. Rex can't help but notice Bobo's strange behavior. He's polite, helpful, and even strategic, the total opposite of his normal, troublemaking self. Curious, Rex questions Dr. Holliday. She explains that before Bobo became an Evo, he worked as a charity entertainer for children in hospitals. She suspects this might be his true nature, a good-natured wise guy with a softer side. Still unconvinced, Rex decides to investigate. He sets a trap for Bobo, only to discover the shocking truth. It isn't Bobo at all. It's a robot. The real Bobo calls in via the robot's comm system and explains that sometimes he has personal matters to handle. During those times, he deploys this Robo-Bobo to avoid raising suspicion. He even programmed it to act extra nice so everyone would be too busy enjoying his better personality to ask questions. Not one to let things lie, Rex reprograms Robo-Bobo to act more like the real Bobo, twisting its moral compass to good is bad, bad is good. The plan quickly backfires. Robo-Bobo frees the Rabbit Evo, which turns out to be a starving, pregnant mother. Soon, dozens of newborn Evo bunnies swarm the petting zoo, joined by every other freed Evo in what Robo-Bobo proudly calls the ultimate practical joke. Chaos erupts. The real Bobo returns just in time and engages in a ridiculous slapstick fight with his robotic double while Rex struggles to contain the giant mother rabbit. Dr. Holliday, Agent 6, and a Providence squad scramble to round up the rapidly multiplying baby Evos. The battle ends when Bobo crushes Robo-Bobo in the petting zoo's lockdown doors. With the crisis over, Bobo casually reveals the reason for his absence. He'd been catching up with an old partner from his charity entertainer days. Rex, still a bit frazzled, isn't sure if this makes him feel better or worse. Rex, Agent 6, and a strike team of Providence agents are fighting a massive starfish Evo when Rex, out of the blue, begins growing a bizarre device from his body. Despite all attempts to stop building the device, Rex involuntarily continues. At first, Rex believes that the starfish is trying to tell him something, but Rex's attempts to talk with it are futile, and he accidentally splits it in two. It reproduces out of each half, thus doubling Providence's problem. 6 orders Rex to go get checked out while he and the strike team handle the starfish. At the checkup, Dr. Holliday states that there is nothing wrong with Rex except for his bizarre craving for pineapple and salmon pizza. Deciding to find answers himself, Rex decides to build the machine he was growing the old-fashioned way by assembling it by hand out of virtually every electronic device in Providence headquarters. Upon completion, the machine attacks Rex, trapping him and leaving him incapable of helping Dr. Holiday and Bobo, who are being attacked at the same time. At the same time, a man arrives outside Providence HQ and incapacitates everyone using a sonic weapon. He eventually reaches Rex and orders the machine to let everyone go. The man unveils himself and reveals that he is Cesar Salazar, Rex's long-lost older brother. He proves it by telling Rex about the scar behind his knee, which Rex received in an industrial accident when he was 7 years old, which Rex himself confirms with the answer, "I always wondered how I got that." Rex willingly goes with Caesar to get some answers. Caesar also explains that he was responsible for the device Rex has been trying to build. He states he was looking for the control nanite, and to find it, he instructed it to build the transmitter which he could trace, unaware that doing so would kill Rex since it bonded with his DNA. Caesar states that he will have to talk to Gabriel Rylander since he was the one responsible for looking after it, only for Rex to inform him that Gabriel is dead. Caesar explains that while it has been 5 years since the nanite event for Rex, it has in fact been 15 minutes for Caesar, who was a scientist working on the nanite project. When the event happened, it supercharged the subspace engine in his research pod, sending him into orbit at such a speed that time itself slowed down from 5 years to 15 minutes, the amount of time it took him to get his ship under control. Rex looks out the window to discover that they are in the Arctic, getting there via the subspace engine. Providence soon catches up and, in a hasty escape, both land back in Abyssus. The jump drains the engine, and the shortly reunited brothers are immediately surrounded by Van Kleiss's Evos. Though Providence is able to get them out of Abyssus, Van Kleiss now knows that Caesar is still alive, and shows much concern. Agent 6 brings Rex back to deal with the Starfish Evo, which has now split into hundreds of smaller starfish. Recognizing Rex needs help, Caesar injects the starfish with a nanite solution which forces them to reform into the singular starfish, which Providence is immediately able to contain and capture via a giant electrostatic net. Caesar immediately goes to work for Providence. Being the only known surviving scientist of the nanite event at that time, he is easily the #1 expert on nanites in the entire world. However, Rex considers finally meeting his long-lost older brother a bit of a hollow victory. He states that the man before him is a stranger, and furthermore, he has already formed the people of Providence into his own family. Rex sneaks out of Providence for fun and a hamburger, but spots a mysterious figure in an alley. Following him, Rex encounters 4 strangers who attack and defeat him. Then 6 appears among them. Rex wakes aboard a Providence jet, where 5 explains they were testing him. 6 reveals they are heading to an island to cure his mentor, 1, once the most dangerous man alive, who has resisted going Evo since the event. 6 introduces the rest of his elite team. Dos, an elderly Spaniard wielding a sword and laser pistol hidden in his cane. Trey, a massive Cajun fighter with metal gloves. IV, a bandaged man using his wrappings as weapons. And 5, a pink-haired British punk rocker with a guitar. 6 himself is ranked 6th most dangerous. Reaching the island's volcano, they find one's isolated room suspended over lava, rigged to drop unless one enters a code every 41 minutes. The team approaches one's chamber via a bridge, but the fully Evo 1, chained to a wall, lashes out. When Rex attempts to cure him, one breaks free and escapes. The gang flees as the chamber collapses into lava. Outside, Rex tries again, but confirms one is incurable. Dos attacks, but 6 insists they can still help. As Rex leads one away, the others confront him, unwilling to see their master caged in the petting zoo. 6 intervenes, battling his own team so Rex can protect 1. When 6 is struck, Rex reveals new Navy battle axes, and together, they defeat the others. 1 seizes Rex's mind, speaking proudly to 6 and declaring he is one with everything before dissolving, restoring the island's nature. Returning to Providence, Rex asks if 6 is the new one. 6 explains their ranking is by danger and ruthlessness, not skill, and meeting Rex once stopped him from becoming 1. In the middle of a massive desert storm, Providence detects a mysterious nanite-free zone, something that shouldn't exist. Rex is dispatched to investigate, but upon arrival he discovers he's not the only one interested. Van Cleis and the pack are already on site. Before either side can make a move, the storm pulls Rex and Van Cleis underground. Both quickly realize their nanites are being destroyed by the zone's strange energy, causing them to weaken. With survival on the line, they agree to a temporary truce and explore deeper. To pass the time, and perhaps gain the upper hand, Van Cleis suggests a game of quid pro quo, trading secrets. In a move that rattles Rex to his core, Van Cleis claims that Caesar, Rex's own brother, was responsible for the nanite event. The tense exchange is cut short when Rex accidentally triggers a hidden security system built into the cavern walls. They soon make a startling discovery. The entire area is one massive circuit board. Rex realizes the zone's power source is none other than Zag-RS, the rogue AI he previously battled in space, still operational and now intent on wiping out every nanite on Earth using the storm. Van Cleis drops another revelation. Rex's unique Omega-1 nanite can self-replicate, creating new nanites to replace destroyed ones. Using this knowledge, Rex fights back against Zag-RS while Van Cleis, revitalized, manages to deactivate her before slipping away without a word. Providence takes Zag-RS into custody, and Caesar finally admits the truth. He originally designed her to eliminate stray nanites. Her voice, he reveals softly, was modeled after their late Mexican mother, Violeta, a fact that leaves Rex shaken in a very different way. While delivering takeout to Providence agents, Rex is ambushed by Breach, who claims Van Cleis has a mission in Hong Kong involving an old friend. Assuming she means Cersei, Rex follows her portal to warn Tuck, Squid, Cricket, and Cersei. However, the old friend is actually Quarry, imprisoned by Providence. Van Cleis wants Quarry for a job only he can do. His inorganic body allows him to bypass a force field guarding a molecular destabilizer, a weapon that can destroy atoms and reduce anything to energy. Quarry pretends to cooperate but escapes through Breach's portal for his own purposes. Meanwhile, Rex arrives at the gang's hideout just as Cersei is helping Squid train, leading Rex to misinterpret their closeness. Breach attacks, telling Cersei Van Cleis wants to speak with her about betrayal. Cersei retaliates but is knocked unconscious. Breach abducts her, claiming she's saving her skin from Van Cleis's wrath. Quarry then appears, equipped with the molecular destabilizer, and begins battling Rex. Every time he is shot with the green energy beams fired from it, his nanites are destroyed. However, the self-replicating program of the Omega-1 nanite continues to supply him with more and more active nanites. Soon, Rex creates another new build, 2 navy-colored metal hands that can erect a pair of energy shields capable of blocking the molecular destabilizer's blasts. He defeats Quarry by redirecting the molecular destabilizer on himself, injuring Quarry and destroying the molecular destabilizer in the process. Rex informs Quarry that the molecular destabilizer has temporarily destabilized his own body. A simple tap from his smack hand will turn him into dust. Rex senses Breach's presence in the area and tells her that she can come out. He reveals that Breach did not take Cersei to Abyssus after all, but to Breach's own pocket dimension instead. He gives Breach a bargain. Let Cersei go, in exchange for not letting Van Cleis find out about the secret agreement Breach had with Quarry regarding the molecular destabilizer. Rex says that he will trade Quarry in to take the blame, thus saving Breach from Van Cleis's wrath. Breach takes Quarry to meet with Van Cleis. Rex tells Cersei that he is okay with her staying with his former gang, as they make a good team. He states that Cersei, Squid, Tuck, and Cricket make good couples, making all 4 of them laugh nervously. They respond that they are just friends, to which he calls himself an idiot for his assumptions and leaves the area on a good note with the gang. In the Amazon jungle, Providence agents clean debris from Gabriel Rylander's destroyed lab while Rex slacks off. Ordered back to work by White Knight, Rex discovers what he thinks is a stone mask, but turns out to be a feline like Evo. Disobeying Six's orders to stay put, Rex triggers a landslide to trap it, but instead finds it turned to stone and realizes he buried Six and dozens of agents alive. Rain helps free them, but White Knight responds by assigning joint training with international agents and grounding Rex at base to clean the warehouse. When Rex calls Noah, Noah suggests throwing a party. He invites only the skaters, disappointing Rex. With no preparation and no nacho buffet, the party is dull. Rex notices the skaters moving the Evo statue, though they deny it. Meanwhile, White Knight repeatedly interrupts to remind Rex to clean the warehouse despite it already being done. The skaters decide to leave, in the process getting caught on camera by White Knight. At this point, the base blacks out, the result of the previously petrified Evo that Rex collected earlier on a rampage in the base. Ignoring its warnings to let it go, Rex locks down the base so that he and his guests can hunt it down without it escaping. While searching the petting zoo for the Evo, Rex discovers that it can imitate his voice, and it uses that to try to lure the skaters into a trap. Rex arrives too late, and the Evo has one of the skaters in its clutches. A distraction provided by a jetpack-wearing skater causes the Evo to turn back into stone, allowing Rex to save the skater before the Evo escapes again. At this point, Noah pieces together that the Evo is one that Van Cleist drained of nanites, turning it to stone. It can turn back to normal with concentration, and now it is trying to escape the base to seek revenge on Van Cleist. Rex realizes that this Evo could be an ally if they can calm it down. However, White swears that he is the only one with the code to lift the lockdown and declares that the Evo will get out over his dead body. With that, the Evo goes off to kill White Knight. The skaters decide to leave the base the same way they got in, while White Knight hunts down the Evo in his magnetic suit. The skaters come back and, having learned to use Evo blasters, help fight the Evo. This gives Rex an opening to pin it down. The Evo begs for Rex not to cure him so that he will have the power to defeat Van Cleist. At this, Rex suggests that the Evo come work at Providence to defeat their mutual enemy and find a cure for his condition. White welcomes him in stating that he can certainly hold his own in a fight. With the lockdown over, Dr. Holiday comes back to base and gives the Evo a checkup. White Knight takes the opportunity to dump Rex, Noah, and the skaters in the sewers as punishment for the party. Caesar is hooking Rex up to a machine in an effort to restore his memories. After reassuring everyone, including White Knight, that it is going to work, he turns it on, but it goes wrong. Instead of restoring Rex's memories, it begins to reboot him back into his full Evo form. Agent 6 is forced to shut it down with his Magna blades, resulting in a green beam from the machine hitting him in the head, causing him to lose the last 6 years of his memory. When Rex goes to check on 6, 6 threatens everyone to tell him who they are within 3 seconds, or they are all dead. After White Knight fills 6 in on everything that happened, 6 agrees to give a job at Providence a trial run. Soon afterwards, an Evo is reported going on a rampage, and Rex and 6 get sent after it to contain it. But 6, now back in the clothing scene when 6 first found Rex and his old katana, proceeds to try and destroys more of the city than the Evo, leading to an argument between Rex and 6. Afterwards, 6 is checked up by Dr. Holiday, with 6 calling her Doctor. Beautiful. At first, he starts flirting with her, saying that he thinks that an image on a screen is them on a date, but Dr. Holiday mentions his old self, causing 6 to think that she is just as crazy as everyone else. White Knight tells Rex to keep an eye on 6, but Rex tells him that he did not have to tell him because he wants to anyway. Rex later hears 6 talk to a mysterious man with a job for him. After 6 steals a Providence ship, he finds both 5 and Trey, much to his surprise, and then discovers Rex following him. 5, Trey and 6 try to kill Rex, but Rex tricks them into fighting each other while he finds out what 6 was there for. After a short fight, 6 defeats both Trey and 5 and then goes in after Rex. Inside, Rex finds an Evo powering the place along with the entire country of Jagistan, which is what Trey, 5 and 6 were paid to shut down. Almost immediately, Rex and 6 begin to fight, with 6 winning after a long fight due to Rex not wanting to hurt 6 too badly. When Rex is pinned down and about to be stabbed, He tells Six that the smartest thing he learned is trusting his judgment, even if it is from 6 years ago. The mercenary quickly lowers his blade towards Rex's chest, with the latter still staring at him. However, he stops at the last second, the blade a few millimeters above the boy's chest, having noticed Rex did not even make a single flinch. Six then agrees to get his memory back after being impressed by Rex's trust in him. Later, Six, now in Caesar's machine, asks for the machine to be activated and almost dies, but Rex destroys the control panel with his smack hands. The episode ends with Dr. Holiday, Rex, and Bobo filling Six in on stuff that happened during the past 6 years due to the machine not working, right after Six expressed that he wanted to kill Caesar after almost killing him. In the middle of a fight, Breach activates a strange device on her chest, ripping open a portal and unleashing a full-grown Tyrannosaurus Rex into the present. Rex quickly realizes the truth. Van Cleis has found a way to weaponize Breach's dimensional powers for time travel. Determined to pull her away from Abyssus, Rex sneaks into the stronghold and convinces Breach to come with him, promising that no one at Providence will hurt her. The two spend time together, forming a fragile trust, until Providence suddenly arrives and attacks Breach without warning. Moments later, Van Cleis appears, shutting down her powers completely. Rex stands his ground, apologizing to Breach for the ambush and proving his trust by restoring her abilities. In a moment of unexpected defiance, Breach turns on Van Cleis, attempting to banish him through a portal, but the device spirals out of control. Breach grabs Rex in a desperate hug, only for him to vanish, thrown 6 months into the future. Providence is almost unrecognizable. Six and Holiday are gone, White Knight is dead after a failed hostile takeover, and Caesar is running operations. Leading Rex to the former White Knight's office, Caesar introduces him to Providence's new leader, a poised, calculating woman calling herself Black Knight, who greets Rex with a disarming smile and says she's very glad to have him back. Rex sits in Black Knight's office after his 6-month absence, at first convinced Breach must have dumped him in a retooled pocket dimension or alternate universe. He tries to escape, only to stumble into the petting zoo, where every Evo wears a collar and acts unnervingly tame. Black Knight and Caesar explain that without Rex's cure, Providence had to either kill or contain every Evo they encountered, leading to the development of collars that train them. Rex reluctantly accepts this and asks about the others. Bobo still works for Providence in exchange for employee benefits, while Six and Holiday took indefinite leave to search for him. White Knight allegedly lost control when forced to step down, damaging Providence HQ. On a mission to stop a worm Evo in the subway, Rex learns he no longer has a handler and is free to deal with Evos his own way. He uses the light from his Omega builds to lure the creature into a construction zone and traps it under girders. When agents claim the worm is incurable, they subdue it with a laser-like training device, calling the process humane. Suspicious, Rex sneaks back into Providence by hiding under the transport truck, and discovers the collars are actually brainwashing devices, even used on Bobo. Furious, he confronts Caesar, who insists it's simply the next step in solving the Evo problem. Rex tries to destroy the machine, but Black Knight appears and Caesar attempts to brainwash him. The device fails, and Rex smashes it. Black Knight's ninja-trained Black Pawns attack, but Bobo helps Rex escape, only for Rex to be ambushed and tranquilized. He wakes up in a ramshackle base inside a dam where he finds Six, Holiday, White Knight, and the real Bobo, who reveal they left Providence to form a new Evo containment group. The Bobo at Providence was actually Robo-Bobo, upgraded with biological parts to fool Caesar's mind control, but completely immune to it. With the truth out, the team prepares to bring down the corrupt new Providence. Dr. Holiday is deep inside the plant, studying the strange technology. She notices it's mostly made up of prototypes and experimental machines, nothing fully finished. Curious and slightly overwhelmed, she decides to call Rex for help, something Bobo quickly suggests as a good idea. Meanwhile, Rex is out blowing off steam on his Rex ride, enjoying the speed and open road. Suddenly, a loud roar of engines fills the air as a biker gang rushes past him. Out of nowhere, one of the bikers fires a rocket in his direction. Rex quickly catches up and demands an explanation. The biker, looking embarrassed, says he thought Rex was part of the race and apologizes before speeding away. Before Rex can even process that, another biker loses control and wipes out. Surprisingly, he survives the crash, but something about him feels off. Rex realizes he's an Evo and tries to cure him, but the cure doesn't work. He brings the biker back to base, where Holiday examines him. She discovers that the nanites inside his body are not helping him. They're killing him. Holiday runs some scans and finds that all the bikers seem to have the same unusual nanite signature. She suspects they've been juicing themselves with altered nanites to enhance their riding abilities. This sends Rex back on the road, determined to track them down. He challenges them to a street race, partly to earn their trust and partly to keep an eye on them. At the same time, Providence is also hunting the gang because of the strange nanite readings. During the race, another biker crashes from nanite poisoning, and Rex drops out to save him. Back at base, Rex confronts the remaining bikers. He tells them the truth. The nanites they've been using are destroying their bodies. The gang shrugs off the danger, saying the thrill of becoming one with their bikes is worth the risk. Still, they agree to take Rex to their supplier if it means they can keep riding. They lead Rex to Valve, an eccentric samurai-styled biker who has been using the altered nanites for so long that his body has literally fused with his motorcycle. Valve challenges Rex to a race for his remaining supply. The rules are simple. 10 laps around his personal track, anything goes between the start and finish. To Rex's disappointment, none of the bikers have brought weapons, and all he can find for defense is a trash can lid to use as a shield. 6 wonders aloud why Rex doesn't just use his other builds during the race. Rex admits he's never tried combining them, assuming they wouldn't work. The race begins, and Valve immediately uses his high-tech weapons to destroy Rex's flimsy shield. Pushed into a corner, Rex takes a risk. He fires the slam cannon while still riding the Rex ride. It works. Then he pulls out the BFS and smashes Valve's bike to pieces. Furious, Valve, still with machinery jutting out of his abdomen, attacks Rex. Rex counters with his smack hands, knocking Valve away. Holiday arrives just in time, announcing she has cleaned the altered nanites out of the bikers' systems. She also points out that, once perfected, the altered nanites could be a useful ace in the hole for the future. With the danger over, Rex and the bikers decide to end things on a lighter note. Engines roar once more as they line up for one final friendly race. Rex, Six, and Bobo arrive in the bustling city of Cairo, Egypt. They're here to meet Dr. Holiday, who is in the middle of a fascinating investigation. Deep beneath the sand, an ancient tomb has been uncovered, and its walls are covered in strange hieroglyphs. To everyone's surprise, the carvings seem to show something impossible: nanites, existing thousands of years ago. However, the discovery doesn't stay secret for long. Black Knight also learns about the tomb and arrives to investigate. Inside, they find a mummified pharaoh named Garin Set. But before anyone can fully examine him, the impossible happens. The pharaoh comes to life. Garin Set reveals that he is an Evo and, to everyone's shock, speaks perfect English. He explains that he was taught the language long ago by someone he calls the Great Father. Without warning, Garin Set escapes the tomb. Using strange, ancient controls, he reactivates a series of massive, technologically advanced pyramids buried beneath the ground. One by one, these structures rise out of the sand all across Cairo, shaking the city. Garin Set's power doesn't stop there. He destroys the Great Sphinx of Giza, revealing that it was never just a statue. Hidden inside was the resting place of a gigantic two-headed cat Evo. Garin Set brings the creature back to life, using it as his protector. Beneath the ruins where the Sphinx once stood, Dr. Holiday and Black Knight discover something incredible: the legendary Hall of Records. Instead of scrolls or artifacts, it contains modern-day nanite technology, preserved for centuries. Meanwhile, Rex catches up to Garin Set as the pharaoh tries to take full control of Cairo. But Rex quickly realizes something. The ancient Evio's technology is too old to function properly in the modern world. The two-headed Sphinx soon collapses and dies, its ancient systems failing. Seeing his plans fall apart, Garuncet's tone changes. He admits that this is a world of lies, where Evos like him no longer have a place. Before dying, he tells Rex that the Great Father spoke of him, hinting at a much deeper connection. Later, back at the Hall of Records, Black Knight makes a decision. She destroys the entire place, wiping out its priceless history and technology. Yet, she secretly keeps one thing for herself, a hieroglyphic image clearly showing Van Cleis. Rex and Six are fighting a plant-like Evo at a flower store. Rex gets slimed by the plant and removes his goggles to clean them. He requests that a nearby girl on a scooter hold them while he deals with the plant. Rex kicks the plant across a city block, then requests his goggles back, only to see the girl driving off wearing them. Rex naturally tries to get them back, but is attacked by the plant again. Black Knight and a squad of Providence agents arrive to add the plant to the ranks of the petting zoo. Black and Rex come to blows over how to deal with the plant. Their opposing methods rip the plant in two, releasing its spores all over the city. To make matters worse, it is soon discovered that when the spores come in contact with any living thing, they are transformed into more plant Evos, which in turn spread more spores. Dr. Holliday runs some tests and discovers that if this pandemic is not contained fast, then it will take the whole world within 38 hours. Rex, on the other hand, is currently more concerned with finding his goggles and takes every available moment to chase after the girl. When Six asks Rex why the goggles are so important, Rex explains that fighting Evos has a habit of spraying goo into his face, so Six got him the goggles, one of a kind apparently. Unfortunately, some of the spores have made it to a sewage treatment plant, which contains thousands of pounds of raw sewage, a massive supply of fertilizer capable of growing the plant to a massive size. Dr. Holliday is trying to make it there, but due to some modifications made by Bobo, her truck runs out of power. Dr. Holliday is rescued by Black Knight, who proposes a ceasefire so that they may contain the pandemic. Using a cannon, Bobo fires Rex into the heart of the plant monster, which Rex then cures and cuts the brain out of the operation. However, the people the plant turned have not turned back, thus Rex spends the rest of the day curing the hundreds of plants. When Rex spots the girl again, he chases after her. He soon discovers that the girl he was chasing after is part of a delivery service. His so-called one-of-a-kind goggles is part of the uniform. In a mini base made out of an abandoned subway station, Rex states that the goggles are one of a kind for him. They were the first nice thing he could remember someone doing for him, the first present he remembered getting. Dr. Holliday arrives with the delivery girl having collected Rex's goggles. Dr. Holliday has made some modifications to make them truly one of kind. Rex's goggles now have a variety of different modes: normal vision, thermal, nano, microscopic, the works. Dr. Holliday takes them to make some adjustments. In the meantime, Bobo offers Rex some heart-shaped glasses, which the delivery girl agrees look good on him, prompting a date between the two of them. White Knight gathers the team and delivers urgent news. Providence, under Black Knight's control, is attempting to restart the nanite project, but for reasons no one can yet determine. The information is too alarming to ignore. Determined to learn the truth, Rex and his allies put together an elaborate plan to infiltrate Providence headquarters. White Knight takes point on the operation, but Rex remains stubborn on one issue. He refuses to believe that his brother Caesar would ever help bring back the nanite project. As the break-in unfolds, each member of the team slips into the building through separate routes. White Knight makes his way to his old office, searching for something hidden long before he left Providence. Beneath a loose section of the floor, he finds it, a mysterious sealed container. Before he can escape, Black Knight appears, blocking his path. The two engage in a brutal fight, each matching the other in skill and determination. Elsewhere, Rex decides to break from the plan entirely. Instead of heading toward the target data, he heads straight for Caesar's lab. He demands an explanation. Caesar, calm but intense, admits the truth. He is leading the new nanite project. His goal, he claims, is to bring back Dr. Gabriel Rylander, using the same resurrection method that revived Van Cleis. Then comes a revelation that rocks Rex to his core. Caesar confesses that he was the one who triggered the original nanite event. He insists he did it to save the world, but the words echo a chilling truth Van Cleise had already told Rex back in Written in Sand. Now, Rex knows it's true. The mission falls into chaos. The team regroups and makes a narrow escape from Providence HQ, taking White Knight's stolen container with them. Once they're safe, White Knight finally explains what it is: a meta-nanite, one of several rare nanites that contain a cipher capable of controlling the very fabric of reality itself. He goes on to explain the bigger picture. The consortium, the secret financiers of the original nanite project, intended to implant these meta-nanites into themselves, granting them godlike power. Caesar's true reason for causing the nanite event was to scatter the meta-nanites across the planet, ensuring the consortium could never gather them all. The room falls silent as the implications sink in. White Knight looks each of them in the eye. "The game has changed," he says gravely. Black Knight and the consortium are already moving to recover all 5 master control nanites. If they succeed, nothing and no one will be able to stop them. Noah grips the steering wheel, clearly annoyed. He glares at Rex, who lounges in the passenger seat without a care in the world. Noah reminds him, for the 3rd time, that this whole road trip was supposed to be for the British Rock Festival. Instead of a rock concert, as they both imagined, it turned out to be a dull English geology convention. Now, on the drive back through the countryside, Noah's irritation simmers. Their boredom ends abruptly when they spot a convoy of Providence agents on the roadside. Leading them is Fortier, and the group is cornering a nervous, nerdy-looking man. Without hesitation, Rex decides to step in. But when he tries to summon his builds, disaster strikes. His machines fall apart mid-activation. Thinking fast, Rex bluffs to the agents, claiming Noah is actually Agent 6. The bluff works just long enough for Rex to grab the man and escape. On the run, Rex starts connecting the dots. The stranger's name is Feekins, and his strange presence earlier wasn't coincidence. He's an Evo with the rare ability to disrupt nanites. In other words, he's potentially the perfect weapon against any Evo, including Rex himself. They make it to a small roadside motel to regroup. Rex calls Dr. Holiday and explains the situation. She tells them she can meet them in the next state and pick them up. Unfortunately, Feekins has already drawn too much unwanted attention to their location. Providence agents are closing in, forcing them to evacuate immediately. The trio heads to a nearby department store, quickly scavenging disguises to sneak onto a departing airplane. Rex throws on a sharp businessman suit. Feekins dresses as a stereotypical Russian. Noah, to his horror, is stuck in a wig, dress, and heels. Rex tries not to laugh. Their escape plan unravels when they realize the agents are already aboard the plane. A sudden fight breaks out mid-boarding, forcing them to ditch the aircraft entirely. They scramble onto a passing train, then onto a car transport carrier. Thinking quickly, Noah swaps disguises with Feekins, and then Feekins drives off in one of the cars. The ruse works perfectly, drawing the agents close enough for Rex to ambush them and take them down. Finally, the trio makes it to Holiday's mobile lab. But before they can relax, Providence corners them again. Acting fast, Holiday activates an experimental cloaking device, vanishing the lab from sight and leaving the agents confused. Later, the defect group provides Feekins with a mobile safe house, an old ice cream truck stocked with gas money so he can stay off the radar. Meanwhile, far away, a Black Pawn reports the failure to secure Feekins to Black Knight. Her patience gone, she vows to take much more aggressive action against Rex from now on. While patrolling Hong Kong, Providence captures Rex's friends, with Cersei barely escaping. Hunted by Black Knight's forces, she turns to Rex for help and recounts losing their friends. Dr. Holiday interrupts, saying White Knight wants Cersei to lead a mission to retrieve a meta-nanite in Abyssus. At Van Cleise's castle, Cersei convinces its perimeter Evo to let them in but is captured by Scalamander and other pack members. Rex defeats Beowulf in combat and warns him that Black Knight will seize the meta-nanite with Providence's full force. Beowulf, surprised it's in the Forbidden Tunnels, sends Rex after it as Black Knight's attack begins. Providence gains the upper hand, using Caesar's mind control collars on Evos. In the tunnels, Cersei reveals Van Kleiss's failed expeditions. Rex breaks through a nanite barrier, suspecting Van Kleiss's intent to use him. Cersei leaves to help the pack, while Rex presses on alone toward the meta-nanite. Rex proceeds to the lowest levels only to pass through a hauntingly familiar room, during which he begins to remember small bits of his past. He finds a picture of his father entering a laboratory that closely resembles the one where Gabriel Rylander had been hiding. Although the security system activates, the computer identifies Rex and shuts down the defense system, allowing him to take the meta-nanite. Several Providence soldiers enter the scene and attempt to take it from him, but Beowulf and Cersei appear just in time to repel the enemy, and the trio makes their escape to the upper levels. Beowulf mentions that the rest of the pack was left vulnerable due to him leaving to help Rex. Feeling guilty about it, Rex uses his knowledge of Providence to predict the enemy's moves. They lure the enemy forces into the old reservoir chamber and flood it as Scamander and the rest of the pack cheer victoriously. Rex thinks that everything went well, but is quickly proven wrong when Black Knight captures Van Kleiss's castle by lifting it off of the ground with the keep. Several more Providence agents arrive and quickly capture the remaining Evos, with Rex, Cersei, and Beowulf fleeing through an escape tunnel pursued by the enemy. Beowulf understands that the meta-nanite is more important than any of their lives and orders the others to flee while he holds off the enemy. Rex laments that he couldn't save the pack, but Cersei gives him a passionate kiss as a sign of her true feelings. She then pushes Rex out of the castle and to safety. He falls backwards over the side of the ledge and manages to escape capture just in time to see Providence slap a mind control collar around Cersei's neck. Deeply saddened by Cersei's sacrifice and capture, Rex returns to White Knight's base and hands the meta-nanite over for protection. Van Kleiss travels back in time to the Old Kingdom of Egypt. There, he creates Garunset and the giant two-headed Sphinx. He also builds the advanced technology found in the Hall of Records. All of this is part of his plan to return to his own time. However, a strange and dangerous force begins chasing him. Van Kleiss believes this force is like an antibody of time itself, something that wants to erase him because he is breaking the laws of the universe. He runs from the force and hides inside what looks like a time machine. Many centuries later, in the 2nd century AD, he wakes up and is caught by Roman soldiers. They bring him to the Colosseum in ancient Rome, where he meets Emperor Septimius Severus. The emperor treats Van Kleiss like a god. Van Kleiss repairs his machine and escapes again, with the strange force still following him. He keeps jumping through different time periods, desperately trying to make it back home. In the present day, Rex finds Van Kleiss in Paris. Rex learns that the machine was never a real time machine. Instead, it was a special storage chamber that kept only Van Kleiss's nanites alive. This means Van Kleiss stayed aware of every single second that passed while his body was gone. Rex frees Van Kleiss from the chamber, then the strange force finally appears, and it turns out to be Breach. She was pulled through time with Van Kleiss because of a device he had connected to her. Rex destroys the device, causing Breach to vanish. Van Kleiss, now acting unstable and seemingly half crazy from the long experience, is captured by Providence. Black Knight comes to see him and asks if he knows who she is. Van Kleiss smiles and says that he does, and that it has been a very long time since they last met. Providence agents pursue a cloaked figure, and Rex jumps in to defend her. It's Cersei. A rocket hits Rex's boogie pack, causing a near fall, but he recovers and fights off the agents. Cersei is captured with a collar, but Rex frees her, and they escape. One soldier reports their escape to Black Knight. Cersei surprises Rex by agreeing to stay at the plant with the team. Dr. Holliday checks Cersei's health, while Agent 6 is suspicious about her escape from Providence. Cersei changes the subject, and Rex tries to lighten the mood, but she leaves, tired. Later, Rex finds Holliday working late on a secret document. He shares how chaotic things have been since Breach sent him to the future, but is glad Cersei returned. Before they can talk more, White Knight summons the team to the Situation Room in 5 minutes, and Rex heads to the meeting as Holliday goes the other way. In the Situation Room, Cersei, Rex, and Six gather while Dr. Holliday arrives unexpectedly in pajamas, confusing Rex. White Knight briefs the team. They must extract Peter Meacham, a key nanite project scientist, from his safe house called Pandora's Box before Providence captures him. Although Six questions it, White Knight insists Cersei joins the mission. At the safe house, Rex fights off Providence agents while Six finds Meacham and escorts him out. Cersei mysteriously disappears, worrying Rex, but they must leave quickly. Meacham refuses to join New Providence despite being offered safety and mentions his daughter is at boarding school. Later, the real Meacham tours the petting zoo with Caesar, showing distrust toward Black Knight, who has replaced White Knight. Meanwhile, an imposter shape-shifting Evo posing as Six visits Holiday in the lab, silently kissing her and hinting at something important, signaling a dangerous deception within Providence. The real Six visits Rex's room, watching a soap opera he doesn't understand. Dr. Holiday thanks him, but gets frustrated when he denies knowing what she means. Meanwhile, Rex talks to the fake Six in the lab, who coldly tells Rex he's weak and won't survive what's coming. Rex sees Holiday crying, who admits she's scared of Six's violent, unstable behavior and fears they don't really know him anymore. Later, Rex follows Meacham into a restroom, but finds it empty. At Providence HQ, Meacham asks Caesar how they'll complete their project without a biointerface programmer. Caesar leads him to a locked room where Van Cleis, now madder than ever, works obsessively. Meacham is upset, but Caesar assures him Van Cleis is the best for the task. Meacham calls White Knight for answers, tipping off the former leader that something is wrong. White Knight reveals the man with them isn't the real Peter Meacham, but John Scarecrow, a shape-shifting Evo hired to infiltrate the plant. Scarecrow causes a blackout and escapes, leading Rex, Six, and Holiday to chase him. They split up, with Rex encountering Six, who denies seeing Scarecrow, but the Evo attacks Rex and flees again. Scarecrow then taunts Dr. Holiday about her feelings for Six, and later confronts Six, mocking his doubts and shooting at him, though Six disarms him. Rex tests Six's identity by asking his favorite color, but Six doesn't know. Suddenly, Holiday screams, and the three rush to find her, only to face a tense standoff, each suspicious of the others being Scarecrow. The Evo reappears, mocks their distrust, and reveals he has already leaked their info to Black Knight. Rex knocks Scarecrow backward, and the two of them engage in a fight. Although he initially has the upper hand, Scarecrow uses his shape-shifting abilities to play with Rex's emotions and eventually manages to push him into a corner. Scarecrow prepares to shoot Rex, but Dr. Holiday comes from behind and knocks him unconscious with a blow to the head. Rex then leaves the room, stating that he lost his confidence that the three of them were ever truly a team after seeing how easily they were turned against each other. Back at Providence headquarters, Peter Meacham is seen being escorted through the base by several black pawns. The real Cersei is revealed to be gagged and collared inside of a prison cell, but the commotion outside catches her attention, and she steps forward to see what is going on. Upon entering another room, Van Cleis is then seen talking to himself again, having come to a major conclusion in his research about something called the quantum level. Outside, Meacham has a private conversation with Caesar about the nature of what they are trying to accomplish. Caesar expresses a desire to fix their past mistakes and explains that no matter what they do from here on out, the end will justify the means they take to accomplish this goal. Rex tries to connect mentally with the nanite world and sees a vision of a giant meta-nanite, but loses the link and wakes up worried that something big is coming. Meanwhile, at a Providence Mountain research facility, black pawns tend machines where the nanite research team works under consortium orders. Peter Meacham is frustrated doing Gabriel Rylander's work until Caesar activates a device that revives Rylander, who claims he never truly died despite his body being split at the molecular level. Black Knight watches with satisfaction and arranges a meeting with the consortium. Back at the plant, White Knight briefs the team on the consortium, powerful figures controlling global business and finance, and credits Jungle Cat for obtaining key intelligence by capturing a former consortium member. White Knight then orders Rex, Six, and Jungle Cat to locate and capture the remaining consortium members. Black Knight presents her findings to the consortium at the research facility. The consortium members are dismissive and condescending, forcing her to show them more respect. She explains the nanite reactor is almost finished and that Providence has reunited the original research team to help. Some members dismiss her work as a waste of time, while others note Van Kleiss's mental instability and Rylander's lack of a physical body. Outside, Rex, Six, and Jungle Cat attack and incapacitate Black Pawns, stealing their uniforms to infiltrate the base undetected. Meanwhile, Black Knight faces criticism but reveals Providence only has one of the 5 meta-nanites. Rex senses a nearby meta-nanite after hearing a mysterious voice. Six tells the others to handle it while he confronts the consortium. Back in the meeting room, the consortium is disappointed with having just one meta-nanite and demands all 5, dismissing Black Knight's claims about their unique powers. When one member belittles her as Little Lady, she visibly shows irritation. While disguised, Six is attacked by Black Pawns and warns the team that their infiltration isn't going smoothly. Rex starts falling into a trance, but Jungle Cat spots Van Kleiss through a window. Rex holds Jungle Cat back to prevent rash action, and Jungle Cat agrees to distract the pawns while Rex searches for the meta-nanite. Upstairs, the consortium insists they must obtain all 5 meta-nanites and warns not to reveal plans around Black Knight, showing distrust. Black Knight learns Six is inside and suspects Rex too. Rex ambushes guards and steals the meta-nanite before it's locked away, signaling Six to retreat. Black Knight downplays the breach as a minor issue but decides to intervene personally. After escaping, Rex says they only completed half the mission. Six reveals he planted a bomb to finish the job if needed. They realize Jungle Cat is missing and rush to help him. Rex arrives just as Jungle Cat confronts Van Kleiss, who is rambling incoherently and telling a strange story about a cat from his past. Rex demands the scientists give him a reason to keep Van Kleiss alive. Suddenly, Dr. Gabriel Rylander appears, revealing he's alive and insists the world still needs Van Kleiss. Rex is shocked and wonders if his own parents could be saved like this, but Caesar sadly says no. Rylander proudly speaks of their progress on a new nanite reactor, which Rex misunderstands and threatens to destroy. As tensions rise, a hidden Black Pawn reports to Black Knight, who orders her agents to surround Rex's team. Caesar believes they're doing the right thing, but Rex's brother doubts it. Jungle Cat prepares to finish Van Kleiss but spares him, deciding he's no longer worth it. Rylander asks Caesar to explain their true intentions to Rex, but before they can, more enemies arrive. Agent Six rushes in, trying to hold the door, but Black Pawns break through and surround them. Rex, Six, and Jungle Cat fight as Black Knight enters, unsettling Dr. Meacham. Distracted by the meta-nanite's voice, Rex almost loses it when Black Knight seizes the chance to grab it. A fierce fight breaks out. Six's blades clash with Black Knight's energy whip. Jungle Cat throws a Black Pawn at her, causing her to lose the nanite again. Preparing to escape, Six readies a bomb to end things, but Rex stops him, refusing to stoop to their enemy's level. Six tells them to go, promising to follow. The consortium members flee, calling some cowards, but one stays to confront Black Knight, who promptly kills him. Outside, Six reveals he didn't use the bomb, and the team departs while Black Knight arrogantly plots to take the fallen member's place. Black Knight attacks the base where Rex and his friends have been hiding. She wants to get the last 2 meta-nanites. During a fight with Rex, she reveals that she is also an Evo like him. She was a test subject in the Nanite Project and became an improved version of Rex. Providence captures Rex and his team, but Van Kleiss tells Black Knight that Rex has the 5th and final meta-nanite inside him. This stops Black Knight from killing Rex. Rex is taken to a lab in Abysis, where Caesar says the only way to safely take out the last meta-nanite is to put Rex inside a machine. This machine will put the other 4 meta-nanites into the members of the consortium. Rex and the consortium go into the machine. Black Knight forces her way in too, threatening the consortium for power. The meta-nanites are split between Black Knight and the consortium members. This turns all of them into Evos with strong powers like changing reality, controlling elements, and teleporting. The consortium is angry because the experiment didn't work as planned. They attack Rex, but just then Providence arrives. White Knight has come back as their leader. Providence saves Rex and begins making plans to fight the Consortium. The Consortium uses their new powers to cause chaos around the world, chasing personal goals and greed. Seeing this danger, Six tells Rex about his full biomechanical Evo form. It might be strong enough to stop the Consortium, but it could make him lose his memories. After thinking hard, Rex faces the Consortium again. He transforms into his full Evo form. Even though he is very powerful, the Consortium beats him, but he keeps his memories. The Consortium tries the experiment again to get the full power of the meta-nanites. Suddenly, Van Cleist betrays them. He reveals that he never lost his mind and always wanted the meta-nanite power for himself. He hints that he killed Rex's parents because they tried to stop him. Van Cleist starts the process, but it fails, and his arm is destroyed. Caesar then tells Rex a secret. Rex's late parents had programmed the meta-nanites so only Rex can use them. This stops anyone else from controlling the power. Rex absorbs all the meta-nanites and becomes extremely powerful. With his new strength, he cures every Evo on Earth and then turns off the meta-nanites forever, because he doesn't want to misuse their power. After this, Providence keeps working to study and improve nanites. Caesar, Gabriel Rylander, and Peter Meacham start a new project together. Rex reunites with Cersei and his friends, who have all returned to their human forms. Black Knight and the Consortium escape to an unknown place. Breach takes Van Cleist and the pack away through her portals. The story ends with Rex continuing his work at Providence, protecting the Earth as the last and strongest Evo on the planet. So that will be it from us. If you enjoyed the video, let us know which character was your favorite. Also, do not forget to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for similar content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next one.